good trainer. So watch out! Being a good trainer. Many people think that training is easy as knowing the subject matter and being able to communicate well. To be trainer isn't easy as look. Effective trainer continuously practice and develop qualities that improve their understanding of learn and organizational needs. They understand that the more exercise these qualities, the better equipped they will be to deliver training with accuracy and precision. Create an effective learning atmosphere. Incorporate current learning trends, and the list goes on. So let's take a closer look what it takes to be a good trainer. First, trainers are strategic thinkers and partners. A strategic thinker possesses strong business acumen and has a good grasp of how the training process directly affects the business. Strategy thinking is the only restricted by to be being a part of training manager skills, but it also one of the attributes of a good trainer as well. Second, be a good and patient listener. Some of the qualities of good trainer are absolutely non-negotiable. The capacity to listen, ask the right question, and understand the need of the learner is at the top of this list. What is needs analysis is not the process of carefully listening to the target audience and unpacking what they need most. A talented trainer is able to listen so closely to what their target audience thinks they need that they can clearly see what they actually need. Third is trainers are well versed in instructional design. One of the best qualities of a good trainer is that they are well versed in the instructional design process. Aside from being included in the list of skills of what training manager, instructional design or ID, is also a big part of a trainer's repertoire of competence. The use of data to determine needs in an organization that can be addressed by learning intervention. Adult learning methodologies, on the other hand, are approaches that translate this intervention into effective learning experience for adult learners. In short, CNI determines what need will be addressed, while adult learning approaches determine how they will be addressed. Besides being fluent in these two frameworks, having both analytical and design thinking is also considered as one of the important qualities of good trainer. Fourth is trainer are project manager. Once the instructional design and all its intricacies have been accomplished, the time has come to implement the learning program. Doing so required a bit of project management because the trainer most of the time not only has to teach the course but also has to plan the program implementation and organize the required research. Being able to manage project is also one of the outstanding qualities of the trainer. Fifth is trainer are facilitator and of a change and learning. As mentioned above, a trainer's main duty is to facilitate classes, but contrarily to common belief, this just takes advantage of about 20% of a trainer's skill set. While it always a given that classroom facilitation is, in itself, part of the qualities of a good trainer, what more important too is that a trainer is expected to be facilitator of change, or even better, an advocate of change. With today's active global workforce and dynamic business environment, changes are constant. Process and knowledge that were the standard a few days ago can become obsolete and be found in the blind of an eye. What is considered as the guiding principle and industry standard today might be different tomorrow. A trainer is always expected to be at the forefront of change. No process and recent knowledge will always demand some type of learning intervention. Moreover, with constant change, competency and performance gaps are always bound to ensue. And the trainer in turn can evaluate and recommend viable and suitable solution. That's it for me.
6. Trainers are evaluators. This is probably one of the most overlooked qualities of a good trainer. The skills required for trainers regarding evaluation include, but are not limited to, conducting surveys, grading effective tests, and assessing learners to observable behavior change. Moreover, changing performance trends and competing for a learning program return on investment are also part of evaluator's skill set. Grading evaluation and analysis data play bigger parts in the roles and responsibilities of a trainer. These two not only help the trainer determine learning's need but can also help establish the success or failure of training programs. And the last, analyze and improve again, and again. Good trainers don't just improve themselves, they also evaluate their training materials regularly. Old or irrelevant material are passed out in favor of content that is more engaging and alike will learn feedback about the course. Hello everyone, I'm Sabrina. Okay, I will tell you being a good trainee. Check it out. Being a good trainee. Many people think that trainee is as easy as knowing the subject matter and being able to communicate well. To be trainee isn't easy, as look effective trainers continually practice and develop qualities that improve their understanding of learn and organizational needs. They understand that the more they exercise these qualities, the better equipped they'll be to deliver training with accuracy and precision. Create an active learning atmosphere. Incorporate current learning trends, and the list goes on.
Good morning. I'm Celine from Indomarko Pristama Company. Can I talk to Sasasqi?
Good morning, with me Sasasqi. What may I help you?
Say that after the result of interview yesterday, you stated that you passed the selection and were accepted at the Indomarko company, and next week you can work right away.
Oh yes, thanks to accept me.
Okay. Now I will tell you how to be an employee of Indomaret. Cause the current condition do not allow for outside gathering, so please get your paper and not my word.
Okay ma'am, wait. Okay, I'm ready.
First, you should know to be an Indomaret employee is manner or attitude. How you can make our customers satisfied with our service, okay? Cause first impression is important.
So, what should I do with that? Can you tell me the example, ma'am?
For the example is when consumers come, you should stand up with smiling face and say, "Welcome to Indomaret," and serve them well.
Okay, not ma'am.
Is how to arrange food, goods or other object according to its type. For example, the goods come in once every 2 weeks, and there you have to arrange according to the type. Do not combine it.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Keeping indomaret clean so customer feel comfortable. Don't forget, cause cleanliness is number one.
Ma'am, I want to ask, are we don't have a cleaning service?
Of course not, cause it includes to your job desk, and you guys need to make a group clean lines.
Okay, ma'am. I understand.
The food are good in good situation, so customer aren't disappointed. Understand?
Mm-mm. Okay, not ma'am.
And last but not least, is show your thank you, like saying welcome again, happy to serve you. That's it for now. Do you have a question?
Yes, for uniforms. How can I get it, ma'am?
For it, you can get when your first day work at Indomaret. My another employee will give it to you. There's more.
No, ma'am. That's it. Thanks for your training, ma'am.
I hope you can apply what I say and do your best. Good morning.
Okay, I will do my best, ma'am. Good morning. Pakai lewat AC dong, guys. Susah kali. Okay, ma'am. Wait. Aduh, aduh, aduh. Susah. Gak bisa gini, guys. Kebesaran. Aduh.
Everyone, so I'm Celine, and I will tell you guys how to be a good trainer. So watch out.
Hey, Matt Morris at mattmorris.com. Thanks for tuning in. And today I wanted to record a quick show on what I did over the last 3 shows. Now, if you notice the last 3 shows, what I did is I used some material that I just recently learned at another training event. Okay, and I guess you could almost title this this show here how to become a good trainer, or how to become a trainer. And so what I did is I learned some information, and then in the last 3 shows, those last 3 shows are information that I've learned over the last 10 days, okay? And what I did is I immediately put it into use. Immediately put it into use. And see, whenever you attend an event, see, there's an accelerated learning strategy. Whenever you're reading a book, whenever you're watching my videos, okay, when you're watching my videos, don't just watch my videos to learn for yourself. Watch my videos and use them, use my information to train your organization. Now, you can give me credit. I don't really care. I just want to provide value. I want to make you a strong leader. I want you to go out and create the kind of financial freedom that you really desire for yourself. And, you know, that's why I do these videos. I just want to be of service, and I get a ton of significance and just fulfillment from knowing that I've made an impact in the lives of other people. And so here's the thing, the accelerated learning strategy is whenever you watch a video like this, whenever you read a book, whenever you go to an event, you've got to learn as if you're going to be required to give a training on the information that you just learned. And what happens is your learning is going to be accelerated. You're going to have pressure in your mind to really soak in and absorb the information if you're going to have to be required to give a training on it. Now, a more accelerated strategy is to actually give a training on the information as soon as you get it. In fact, when I learned the thing about I will help you build your business, I learned that in the morning, and that day at lunch, I did a little training with some leaders in my organization. That, like 3 hours, 4 hours later, I used the information. And it's something that I've done consistently over time is whenever I learn something that's powerful, I immediately put it into use. I immediately train on it. And what happens is when you train on it, the greatest way to learn something is to train on it. And so now that I've done a training, I've trained you guys on this, then do you think I know the information a little bit better? Obviously I do. And because I want to do a good job of training, I'm going to make sure I absorb the information even more. It's even more ingrained into me because I want to do a good job training. So that's the lesson, is every time you're learning, don't just learn for you, learn for other people so that you can give a training on the information. And see, every trainer out there, now the people who gave me that training, chances are they didn't come up with the information themselves. They got pieces of that and, they borrowed it or they used it and, they went and did the training. So there's a concept, in fact, it's one of the titles, chapter titles of my book, The Unemployed Millionaire, is Why Invent the Average When You Can Copy Genius? So literally every trainer out there, Tony Robbins and the greatest trainers of all time, they're borrowing information that they've learned elsewhere. I was just reading a book the other day. It was a John Maxwell book, and one of the quotes he had in the book was the exact word-for-word quote that was in a book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So John Maxwell is recycling information. We're all recycling information, and by doing that, we're paying it forward. We're helping other people. So hopefully this added some value for you. Take this information over the last 3 shows that I trained you on. Take that information, go train someone in your group on that information. You're going to be a more powerful leader. You're going to be a more powerful trainer, and you're going to go pay it forward and help others in a big, big way. So thanks for tuning in. If you're not already at mattmorris.com, hop over there, put your name and email address in. I'll send you my 5-day free video training on how to go from amateur to professional in network marketing. You will absolutely love it. It will be huge, huge value for you. So thanks again for tuning in. Go make life an adventure.
Do you need to train employees for a new skill or to perform a new task? I'll explain the 7 steps for highly effective employee training in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimist Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance management in the workplace. Training employees is an essential skill required of both leaders, managers, and also other employees, because it's not always a manager that does the training. Sometimes, especially for new employees, you're going to have another employee train them on specific tasks. But if the manager or employee doesn't know the steps to proper training, then you may end up with a result that's below what you expect in terms of performance. In our leadership and team development training programs, we do an exercise to teach people the steps for training. And we teach them how to tie a fire underwriter's knot using a wire. And the first thing we do is we hand out instructions. Nobody can do it, or few people, just reading the instructions, because it's hard to follow the steps without a diagram. We then hand out a diagram on how to do it, and still most people cannot do it just following the diagram. Then we demonstrate how to do it, and we have each people perform it, and then we correct them until everybody's able to do it. Now that doesn't mean that we're sure they've acquired the skill. So here are the 7 steps. The first one is to explain the importance of the task and how it relates to the overall job. Because if you're tying this knot, this fire underwriter's knot, incorrectly, it could have a huge impact on somebody's life. First of all, it could cause a fire. And second of all, if it does, and the insurance determines that the proper knot has not been tied, they won't cover the damage. So it's really a huge importance to learn how to do this properly. The second is to explain the procedure or the process. The third is to demonstrate how to do it. The fourth step is to observe the employee doing the task. The fifth step is to give feedback, build their confidence, correct them if required, and continue to provide the coaching. The sixth step is to express confidence in the ability of the person to succeed. Just because they've demonstrated that they can do it there, they may doubt themselves in terms of doing it on the job. So you want to build their confidence through giving that expression of your confidence in their ability. The last step is to follow up on a regular basis, Depending on the task and the complexity, it could be daily, it could be weekly, depending on the specific need of the person and the procedure. So these 7 steps are essentially really simple. They're not complex. Anybody could apply this. And if they follow these steps, then you're sure to have an employee that's going to be properly trained. This will contribute to better organizational and team success. This process also applies to delegation because every delegation requires some form of coaching as well. So in your next delegation or coaching, follow these 7 steps and you'll see how effective it will be to train a new or existing employee. I hope you find this content beneficial for you. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. There's one recommended for you. There's also blog articles that accompany these videos on my website. Check those out as well. Please leave a comment, suggest a topic that you'd like me to cover. I'd be happy to do so. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, basically these are going to be my tips on, or my top 3 tips on how to become a great personal trainer. When I talk about this topic is just basically from a trainer perspective. It's not a business perspective. I'm going to touch that on a different topic. I'm just saying being good at what you do. My top 3 tips would be, number 1 is, you got to be likable. I know it's the personal becomes before the trainer, but if you don't have an attitude or a personality that people really don't like, they're not going to really fuck with you regardless of how good you are. I believe I have one of them personalities that I kind of get along with everybody. You know, I'm confident, but I'm not arrogant. I'm very educated in what I do, so I hold myself a certain way, but I think it's just how you carry yourself in general, and how well your clients get along with you really matters onto them seeing results and things like that. Because again, obviously they have to keep coming back to you in order to see results. So basically that would be my number 1 tip, is you got to be likable. You got to have a personality. You can't just be, I'm gonna say, a hard ass all the time, but you just have to, they gotta like you, they gotta keep coming back, even though they might hate you in the moment. Where I get a lot of clients like, I hate you, because obviously you put them through hard workouts, but at the end of the day, they have to like you as a person in order to choose you to be a part of their life. Because people do spend a lot of time with their personal trainer. So obviously if you spend a lot of time with people, they have to like you. That's number 1. Number 2 is education. To me, education is key when it comes to fitness. You know, in this fitness industry, a lot of shit is saturated from just the marketing side, because a lot of people don't have the education, but they have the marketing tools, which again is the look and the results, which is cool. You know, of course you're gonna get results, but we have to educate people on how to get to A to B, not just how to get to A and B, you know, not just show them, here, this is what they did. But then again, to me, it's doing things the right way and making results a lot more sustainable. And again, when you're able to educate your clients, it obviously helps them in the long run. Again, this is not just a rinky-dink ass shit. You need science in order to get to where you're trying to be with yourself, your body, and obviously your clients. You know, I went to college for this. I got 2 certifications. Obviously, I'm getting more, but then again, I'm well-rounded, not just fitness. We talking about nutrition, sleep, again, reading. Again, another video, I'm gonna tell you what books I read, and just to kind of educate myself more. But you should always be ahead of the game. Learn everything you can. Definitely be aware of all the hormones, all the nutrition, all the anatomy, the biomechanics, human anatomy, just things in general that I say you need just to be a great trainer. Because the more educated you are, the more you're allowed to help. Definitely you're allowed to help your clients, and you guys will get a lot further just in their fitness journey. So those are 1 and 2. My 3rd tip would be the way you effectively communicate with your clients and how you care about your clients. Again, you cannot look at your clients as just a price point. Sure, it matters when they pay you and how much they pay you, but again, you have to care a lot more and take an interest in their life, because again, it does matter how they sleep, what stresses they have, what are they going through in life. Because again, you got to understand all these things in order to not say design a program, but just to be able to alter certain training aspects and just how hard to push that person that day. Because again, if they have a hard day or something is wrong, I understand that you're supposed to cancel that out, but if they need to talk to you more than they need a training session, to me, that's more important on helping a person. Again, it's more than just fitness. Again, they have however long to get to their fitness journey and to get the body and get the aesthetics that they want. But again, you have to actually care about your client. Again, if they've been through some shit, you're not gonna make their day harder. You'd be like, hey, do you need to go home? You know, is there anything that we need to talk about before we go? Because again, if I don't have 100% of you, you're kind of pointless to me. Again, I need you to be on your A game when you come in that door. But again, I need to make sure you're okay when you walk into my facility, when we start our training session. Because again, if you break down, I've had clients break down in the middle of their workouts and just start crying because some shit is wrong. And we'll sit down and talk about it. I'm not gonna be like, no, fuck that. You know, I don't care what you're dealing with. We can do with that after, which we can. But again, it's just a workout. Like again, you can always do it later or at a different time. But again, when it's a priority and somebody needs help, you help that person in that moment. So you definitely have to care about your clients more than just them giving you money. I think that's what separates me too. I just have a personality that people kind of rock with, and I'm able to help them beyond just fitness. I'm able to sit there and talk to them and really care about their lives. That's why me and Christian got close. You know, again, I've only known them about 2 years, and it feels like we've been brothers forever type shit. You know, they come over, we do shit outside of the gym because we built that relationship, and it's genuine. You know, it's not just I need them and they need me. Again, it's a true friendship and it's a true brotherhood because we've developed that. But again, if I was an arrogant person or they didn't really rock with me, you know, it'd be hard to kind of develop a great relationship with two amazing athletes. Business is always important, of course, but again, caring about people as people is very important as well. So those would be my top 3 tips. 1, definitely have a great personality and just make sure you're very likable when it comes to personal training. 2, education. And 3, just make sure you care about your clients more than just money. I understand business is business, but again, in order just to be a great trainer and get the best out of your people, you gotta at least have those 3 things.
Hey, James Robbins here, and in this short video, I'm going to show you a really quick technique that you can use to catapult the growth and development of one of your employees, okay? So here's how it goes. I'm going to break it down for you in a few steps, but really quickly. Number 1, choose one employee, okay? So you don't have to choose everybody, but just find one. Secondly, I want you to think about their role and break the main parts of it down into 4, 5, maybe 6 competencies at most. In other words, 6 areas that they need to excel at in order to do their job well. Let me give you an example. Let's say I've got a young manager named Joey. Well, I want to look at Joey as a manager and think, okay, if I could pick 4 or 5 things that if he does really well, he's going to excel as a young manager. And so I come up with this. He needs to care for his staff. He needs to constantly give them recognition. He needs to give them feedback on their progress. He needs to communicate effectively with them. And let's see if we can pick one more. He needs to cast a strategic vision for his team. Okay, so let's say I just come up with those. You can come up with different ones. What's important is you know their role better than I do because I'm not you, right? Anyways, so you come up with these 4, 5, 6 at most competencies. Now, what are we going to do with this? Then I want you to get out a Word document. So we're on step number 3, okay? Step number 3, get out a Word document and type in one question for every competency. So in other words, if you chose 6, you're going to have 6 questions. I've got 5 for Joey, so I'm going to have 5 questions. And they're going to be, do I communicate consistently with my team? Do I regularly recognize good work when I see it? Do I consistently give feedback to my staff on their progress, right? So I'm gonna create a question for each one of those competencies. Then step 4, I'm gonna go and take this piece of paper to Joey and I'm gonna say, Joey, hey, can you go ahead and read through these questions and I want you to give yourself a ranking.
on a scale of 1 to 10. And we're used to evaluations on a 1 to 10 scale. We've been evaluated on the 1 to 10 scale ever since we were in grade 5, right? So anyways, it's pretty self-explanatory. Joey's gonna go take that, he's gonna read through the questions, and he's going to evaluate himself. Now, when he's done, he's gonna have these scores, and what we're going to do is we're gonna transfer those scores to a development wheel. Now, it looks like this, okay? So this is simply just a circle, and it's got all these pie wedges for each of the competency. Each ring represents a point, and he's going to fill this in or color it in. You can use all kinds of fancy colors if you want, it doesn't really matter. The whole point is we're taking something that's, kind of binary, and we're creating a graphic for it, a graphical representation of where he believes he's at with his competencies. All right, so once he's done that, we're set up to have a conversation, and I think this is step 5. We're gonna have a quick conversation with Joey, and here's some great questions that you can ask. Number 1, hey Joey, why did you rate yourself what you did for each score? Let's talk about that. Hey, why did you rate yourself a 3 when it comes to giving recognition for your employees? Why did you say that you're an 8 at giving strategic vision? This is a conversation to help you know how they think, because what sometimes happens, sometimes people underassess. In other words, they're way better than they're giving themselves credit for, and that's a chance for you to coach and help align them to say, actually, no, you're much better than that. Sometimes people overassess, and they think they're miles ahead of where they should, of where they're really at. And so that's also a chance for you to kind of set the record straight of what you really think. But anyways, hopefully they'll be somewhat close to where they actually are. So that's a great conversation to get the ball rolling. What you can also do is you can also rate them yourself on those same areas, and now you can compare the numbers. We'll say, hey, here's what I noticed. So anyways, you're having this great conversation about their development, but here's what you do next. This is the crucial next step, and that is you're gonna pick 1 or 2 areas, and it doesn't so much matter which 1 or 2. In other words, you could pick maybe one of their lowest and one of their highest, or you could pick the 2 that you think are the most important for them to master right now at this stage in their development. But anyways, you're gonna pick 2. And what you're going to do now is you're going to transfer ownership to them. And this is what that looks like. I'm gonna sit down with Joey and I'm gonna say, hey Joey, so here it says that in giving consistent feedback on employee progress, you rated yourself a 6. What's it going to take for you to go from a 6 to an 8? And you see what we did right there? Is I'm not telling him what he's going to do. I've just said, what's it going to take for you to go from a 6 to an 8? So this spawns another discussion, because either he's not going to know, or he's going to know, and now we can have a talk about that. But what I'm doing is I'm transferring ownership over to Joey, because I want him to be responsible for his growth. If I have to be responsible for every single employee's growth, I can't do that. Neither can you. And so what we need our staff to do is we need them to be self-learners, but we have to be the catalyst. Like, we have to get the ball rolling. And something like this simple exercise that I'm showing you, that's what this does. It gets the ball rolling. And so now that the ball's rolling with Joey, it's like, hey Joey, what's it gonna take for you to go from a 6 to an 8? Now notice I'm not saying 6 to 10. We're not trying to get perfect, just from a 6 to an 8. I'm looking for progress. I'm looking for growth. Now, if Joey doesn't know, then that's a chance for you to chime in. Or if he doesn't know, you could always say, well, why don't you think about this? And let's talk next week. And then it gives him a chance to go and think about it and come up with some answers, because again, you're expecting him to take ownership for his development. All right? So I've included some other questions that you can ask in this time right below this video. Also, I have included some blank templates for you of that development wheel in case you want to use it with your staff. This is a really common tool in the coaching world, by the way, and it's very, very effective. So anyways, like I said, that's a really simple technique on how you can take an employee and get them focused on just a couple of areas, making intentional efforts at trying to improve something. And then what happens over the next 2 months, by the way, over the next 2 months, just keep following up every week. Just even if it's a quick 30 seconds, hey Joey, can we chat for a minute? Let's talk about how it's going. with helping somebody or with you giving feedback. And he's able to weigh in. Yeah, this is what I did this last week, and you can say questions like, "That's fantastic. Hey, what did you learn? What's different than a month ago with you?" And so what we're doing is we're guiding him along, but the most of the training is actually being done by Joey himself. That's the key. Okay, anyways, I really hope this helps. Like I said, you can download some blank templates, make copies. You don't have to ask me or email me to ask if you can make copies for other people. No, just go ahead and download those. That's totally fine. Like I said, there's some other questions right below here. And if you know another manager that you think this video would help, please send it on to them. Other than that, have fun and talk to you soon.